Hello, we're going to show you how to play Order. Order is basically a card game which has chance and strategy involved in winning the game. So without further delay, let's go in and start playing the demo. On Order we have 9 levels. On the demo we only have 3 available. 1 being the easiest level, 9 being the most difficult level. So we're going to start right out on number 1. And as you can see, we have a deck. Each player gets 10 cards to play with to start his consecutive streak. The object is to go from low to high. And in level 1, you have 70 cards available. So 70 would be the best number at the top end, and 1 would be the best on the low end. So we're going to start the game. You can see level 1 tells you there's 70. Now, the deck has 70 cards. There's 20 visible. 10 for me, 10 for my opponent. That means there's only 50 cards remaining in the deck. This is something to remember because part of the strategy is almost like counting cards that, are available and are not going to be available. Cards that are not going to be available are the ones that are passed on. What I do here to start out with is look at my deck and see how my numbers line up. You basically want to keep your numbers in bunches of 10. The closer you can pack your numbers, the better. This gives you wider gaps. The gaps are where you're going to fill in your numbers. For instance, on my hand here, I have 27 and 37. That's a gap of 10. So that's pretty good with a 60. Of course, 60 is not going to work there. The thing that you want to remember is that you're going to have cards available from the main deck and also cards that the opponent is going to have to give up when he replaces those cards that he doesn't want. Those would be like on 59, 49, 38, 55, 5, and 10. Those numbers are going to become available to me because those numbers really won't fit the sequence of numbers that he's going to need to build. So right now we're going to go ahead and start. It's my turn, and 3 is a very good low number to start, and as you can see, 5 and 10, like I mentioned, is going to become available to me. So if I put 3 in the first slot, I'll have 5 and 10, which I can put in the second and third slots. This will be a good way to start. So when I hit that, it replaces that number, he gets 25 to use. When he gets 20, places the 25 in his deck, he gives up 38. So that's a number that I can use. That was one of those numbers that I said that was available. So we have 38 now available. I have a 37 in a good position. It's basically in the middle of the deck with 70 cards to use. So it also is very close together, and when I do this, I get a bonus point because those two numbers are consecutive. Now the opponent just used my 62 that I gave up and gave me 10. That 10 was one of the numbers that I was expecting to get back. So I'm going to put that in the third slot, and because I got the 5 up at the top, that'll fill that spot there. So he used the 17, gave me the 59. So how do I use the 59? I have a pretty high number. Now remember, I'm going to get 49 and 55 from his deck. So I have a 53 already in my slot here, and I'm going to go ahead and use 59 as my high number and replace it, the 11, with the 59. And that'll give him the choice of 11, which won't do him any good. The whole idea is to deny the opponent as many chances at good numbers as possible. Now 14 didn't work for him, but if you can see, I have 10 in the third slot, so 14 in the fourth slot, replacing the 27, will widen the gap again, the gap between 14 and 37. This will give him 27 to use, which will be no good to him. And that'll be another time where instead of getting two good choices, he is only going to get one when he passes on that number. So I'm going to replace the 27 with 14. He gets 27. So he got 66 from the main deck. 52 is given to me now. This is a number that doesn't really help me too much. I could replace it with 38, but that takes away my bonus points there. It doesn't really do any good. So I'm going to pass, and that brings up my second card. 47, again, doesn't help me very much. And it looks like he could probably use it. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put the 47 in where the 53 is. Now we wanted to keep the 53 in that spot because we were going to use his 55 in the ninth spot. But this is going to widen my gap again. Always remember you want to keep the gaps as wide as possible. So instead of a useless number, I've made it useful. He took the 53 that I gave him, and one of the things here is that you can also use the numbers as bait almost to get numbers from your opponent when you need them. He gave me the 5. That was an important number because I want to get my consecutive streak going here. So he took that number. Now I have a good gap here. 30 is going to work very good between 14 and 37. And that means I've only got one spot left in which to win the game. That would be the ninth slot. His second choice was 35. And 35 doesn't work for me. So I'm going to pass on that one. Ask the deck for another one. 29 doesn't help me very much. It's not going to help him any either. So I could pass, or there's a thing here you want to see is that you want to try to get bonus points from useless numbers. 29 is basically a useless number in the overall scheme of the game. But if I replace the 14 with the 29, I get bonus points because I have consecutive numbers from 29 to 30. And there's no cost to me because when I give that number 14 back to the deck for him, he can't really use it because he's already got 2 and 17. So I'm going to go ahead and take that bonus point. That's going to deny him another number. Again, we have a high number here. Now, it doesn't fit my exact strategy to use 70, but again, if you look at the opponent's hand, he has 2 numbers that he needs to get corrected. In the third slot, 49, and in the sixth spot, 55. So he's two plays behind me right now. And again, I could probably pass on this number, but because I have a little more time, I'm going to even increase my gap because when I replace the 59 with the 70, that is going to increase the space, the gap again of numbers that I have to the availability to place. And 59 is not going to, oh, wait a minute, if I give him the 59, he can put that into where the The 7th spot is, and that will help him. So I'm going to pass on that number. Okay, 36 doesn't work. Doesn't help me, doesn't help him. I'll give it to him because it doesn't help. He'll pass on it and use 54. 54 doesn't work for him, but it does work for me. If I place 54 where the 22 is, I'll win the game. One thing that you want to do when possible is to keep your opponent from getting a streak at the beginning. As you can see, he's only got 3 cards in a row. Whenever you can, you want to deny the player you're playing against those lower numbers because that decreases his score. The score is 150 points to win, which I will get, plus my bonus points, which was because I had consecutive numbers of 29 and 30, 37, and 38. But the opponent retains the points that he gets for consecutive numbers. So even though he's going to lose the game, he's going to get points. So it's always advantageous to keep your opponent from losing points. And that means keeping him from getting the lower numbers started. So I'm going to go ahead and replace the 22 with 54 and win the game. 150 points for the win, 50 points for the bonus points, 200 total. And that is a pretty good score. He gets 30 for the 3 in a row that he gets 10 each. The game goes to 1,000. So even though the opponent has lost, he's gotten some some points. So this is a quick demo, and it's just my first try at this, Bob, and we'll do it again when I'm better at it.